while we have two more special guests. I just got the kids out of school and now we're creating with the four of us. Very nice.
Very creative.
We've got a question from Dawn who asks, any ideas / tips for creating a series for art related projects? So, do we have any ideas or tips?
Well, I think I said something similar in answer to the previous question, which is that if you pick your supplies, like a set of 5 to 7 things, then you can't really, you can't help it. You end up creating things that have a cohesion, that look similar. So that would be my biggest tip. And working in the same format as well.
Yes.
Because that makes things just look... And working on things at the same time.
Yes, and for me it's also, and that's also something that we talked about in a previous video, working within a theme. When you are working on a theme and you're like obsessed with that theme and you really want to explore that theme, you also get a series very easily. For example, like exploring hands or buildings. So I think it's also the willingness to explore a certain art supply or to explore a theme.
Like being really obsessed with this one thing. Like I'm really obsessed with fluorescent pink. And so, I mean, I haven't really explored it that much, to be honest.
But yes, you did.
Well, I mean, I'm using it, but what I mean by like exploring it is actually like putting the focus on it rather than just like, oh, I like that, I'm gonna just use it. But because I sometimes see you making like, you know, that page that you did where you were trying all sorts of red pencils. And then it wasn't just about using the red pencils.
Yeah, but that's, to me it's not exploring. To me that's more like testing.
Okay, testing.
Like that's more technical.
Yeah, but stuff comes out of it though, I think. When
but what you do is more what I call exploring. You're really, like sometimes it's the pink is in a layer underneath everything and sometimes it's on top and sometimes it's really bold and big and sometimes it's just only little bit in the background.
Yeah, so I think what I would do with something like this pink is I would try different things. Like sometimes I apply, it's always the same paint, but sometimes I apply it with a key card, sometimes with a brayer, sometimes with a brush, sometimes I drip it. So you kind of you're working on a theme.
Yes.
That's the word that you were using.
Yeah.
Theme. Yeah.
That's maybe also the tip that I want to give for that is just have a healthy obsession with something, a subject or a color or a certain kind of material that you like to know more of.
And also what I've heard of people do, they paint the same thing again and again. So for example, like if you were like a landscape painter, you could paint the same landscape your whole life.
Yes.
All the paintings that you do could be the same view, but you take to it something different.
Yes.
So that's another way of doing something that will have cohesion and similarity, but still have differences because you're doing it differently.
Yeah, and that's something that because I often draw the same themes. I draw a lot of dolls and buildings and flowers, but I also look at the work I've made before. So I respond to things I made earlier, and every time when you make something, and then you can you observe what you've made, and then you respond to that.
You get inspired by yourself in a way, which
and then
I
you
do
also
that
get
too.
a series.
Yeah, because I sometimes get that, I get stuck and then I'm like, I remember there was this other painting that I had a really good feeling about, so then I just go back to it and I'm like, oh yeah, I could add a little bit of this, or I did something there that I haven't done here and I could try that. So that's good being inspired by yourself, and that
I think it's really important to be inspired by yourself. It also keeps your work very authentic of you.
Yeah.
Because you have inspiration, you have all those input from other artists that you like, but sometimes it's really good to stay focused on what you make and respond to your own work for a while.
Yeah. Because I always fall into the trap of I used to mainly fall into the trap of if I got inspired by someone or something, that I would try and recreate it. And I didn't know, I knew how to recreate something and I knew how to start something for myself, but I didn't know how to meet it in the middle. And I think that, there is a middle where you can get inspired by
that's
yourself.
also experience. I
think so too. Yeah.
The more you make, the more you know what you like and what inspires you. So yes, interesting question. I hope that answered the question.
Yes.
And that
more
now,
food for thought.
Yes, that now all are going to make series. Lots of series. So if you've made a series of something, maybe you can share it with us. And I'm very interested if you are going to make any series in your journals. Thank you so much for watching, and
see you in the next one.
Bye!